Hey, hey, my feel good friend. I hope that you are just having a wonderful start to your week. I am so excited to be hopping on here today because I'm going to be sharing my favorite four tips, I guess, strategies for how to approach social media and market your business on social media in a way that doesn't feel icky. Which, if you've been following Feel Good Social or listening to the Feel Good Social podcast for any amount of time, you probably realize that that's a core of my brand. I mean, that's the name of my business, right? Feel Good Social. I truly believe that the best way to market your brand in any aspect, but I focus on social media, is to do it in a way that feels good to your soul, that actually gets you results without wasting your precious time or making you feel like you're losing your soul and sanity in the process, right? That's kind of my 35-second elevator pitch or whatever the heck you want to call it. But really, that's what truly lights me up in my business. And those are four of the tips that I'm going to be sharing today in today's episode. So, if you do enjoy this episode, I would absolutely love for you to share it to your Instagram stories. Make sure you tag me at Feel Good Social so that I can see it and reshare it, give you a follow, connect with you in the DMs. I would absolutely love to connect with you, my Feel Good listener. And I just love to see who's listening on the other end of the earbuds and really who is enjoying these episodes. So if you do share it to your Instagram stories, just make sure you tag me at Feel Good Social. I would absolutely love to connect with you, my friend. All right, without further ado, let's dive into my 4 steps for how to approach social media marketing in a way that doesn't feel icky. Hey, friend, and welcome to the Feel Good Social Podcast. I'm your host, Kinsey, and I'm here to help you market your business in a genuine way that works without wasting your precious time. On this show, we chat about social media strategy and mindset tips with a focus on, you guessed it, feeling good. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some genuine conversation for the good of your biz. Do you know what your brand vibe is on Instagram? I have a new fun quiz that's just for you, my friend. I, of all people, know how hard it is to figure out how the heck you're supposed to translate your brand to the gram. And with this quick 7-question quiz, we will help you hone in on your brand's personality, voice, and visuals so that you can show up consistently and create content that looks beautiful and feels on brand for you. This quiz is so awesome. It's been a long time coming, and I know that you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Plus, the results will help you show up in the best way for you. If you'd like to check out our new brand vibe quiz, just head to feelgoodsocial.com/quiz. Pretty easy. Head to feelgoodsocial.com/quiz to find out what your brand's vibe is on social media and start showing up there for your brand. All right, my friend. Now, my very first tip for doing social media in a way that doesn't feel icky is to take the anxiety out of it. Okay. And this may seem obvious, but this is probably the hardest step. And it's definitely what we have to talk about first in order to approach social media in a way that doesn't feel icky, right? I know how anxiety inducing social media can feel, whether you're listening to all the shoulds and shouldn'ts that are swirling around on the internet, whether you feel the urgency of having to post today or having to answer the DMs within 20 minutes or whatever it is. A lot of us struggle with perfectionism and we feel like we're being judged whenever we put stuff out on the platform. And all of those things can swirl together to make us feel super anxious when we have to show up on social media. We're feeling like we're not doing it right. We're feeling like we have to do it perfectly. We're feeling like it's just always demanding our attention from us, right? And so the very first step to doing social media in a way that feels good and doesn't feel like it's sucking your soul or just making you feel icky is to take a deep breath and let go of whatever the heck is giving you anxiety. And I promise you, whatever the heck it is, it's something you can let go. Okay. All of those things that I just mentioned are things that I have definitely struggled with before, especially me being in the social media marketing industry. I follow a lot of other social media marketers. I get a lot of emails. I try to stay up to date with all the new trends and all the stuff. And it's easy for me to get caught up in all of the freaking loudness of it, right? But what I've come to find out, and this is one of the cornerstones of my business, is that it really doesn't matter. I've said this before on other podcast interviews. I am the first one to admit that social media is not your number one priority in your business or in your life. Okay. I know that. And I want to tell that to you right now. It's not. Okay. And there are a lot of opinions out there. There are a lot of people telling you, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's really, really easy to feel the anxiety of just getting notifications all day on your phone and feeling like you put something out into the social media sphere and all of a sudden the entire world sees it and they think you're stupid and whatever, whatever, whatever. The little voice in your head is telling you, whatever that is, just take a deep breath. It's okay to let it go right now. I'm laughing because, I'm one of those people. I do think that social media is a long game. I think showing up consistently on social media is the best thing you can do over the long term to really build and nurture your audience online. Grow that following over time that you can genuinely connect with, and all of those things. Showing up consistently over the long term with the same messaging and the same branding is ultimately the best strategy for you when it comes to social media marketing. However, I still am getting back from a week-long staycation. My mom came to visit me last week, and it was really funny. I was scrambling to try to get all of my stuff done as her stay was coming up because I really wanted to be able to spend time with her and be present with her. And I'm kind of scrambling to finish everything up. And the day comes when she's arriving, and I'm like, oh no, I have all these other things I needed to do. I spent so much time getting my client work ready that I totally disregarded Feel Good Social's content for social media. And I was like, ugh, I guess I'll just have to wake up every morning and quickly try to throw together a post. And I was feeling anxious and stressed about that because I knew it wouldn't be my best content. I knew that my anxiety would make me take longer to create this content that wasn't my best content. And then also, I knew I'd be stressed out about answering comments or checking DMs or all those things when my mom was here. And I was like, I do not want to split my time and attention between my mom and Instagram while she's here, right? And I also don't really want to be posting to my audience who I love on Instagram without the availability to really respond to them and answer their DMs or comments or whatever, you know what I mean? And so I was just like, Kinsey, why are you getting so stressed out about this? Let's just let it go. Let's just take a week off of Instagram. You know, it's not going to ultimately hurt your long term strategy. Let's just let it go. Right. And so I ended up just taking a deep breath, releasing the pressure and scrambliness I was feeling, and just decided, you know what? I might add a few times to my Instagram stories when I feel like it while my mom's here, but I'm not going to really worry about my content at all. I'm just going to release that pressure to post during this week that my mom is here. And guess what? I came back from my week-long staycation. We drove around Colorado. We hiked in the mountains. We went to the sand dunes. My mom stayed at an alpaca farm, which they are adorable, by the way, if you've never seen alpacas. And by the way, when alpacas lay down, they lay down neck first. Okay. Firstly, they're the cutest dang things in the world. They have the craziest haircuts. But then I saw one laying down and it puts its neck down on the ground first. And then the rest of its body follows. And I was like, this is the most amazing thing ever. And I told Brett that we need to get an alpaca farm. So that might be happening in 20 years. Just stay tuned. But anyway, I digress. My friend, the first thing that I want you to do when it comes to doing social media in a way that doesn't feel icky to you is take a deep breath, sit for 15 seconds minimum, and then really think, okay, what is bringing me anxiety when it comes to social media marketing right now? And if it's any shoulds or shouldn'ts, if it's urgency, if it's perfectionism, if it's fear of judgment, whatever it is, just release it. Okay. Let that shit go because you do not need to be holding on to it. It doesn't need to be giving you anxiety. And I want you to be aware of what causes you anxiety when it comes to social media because these feelings are going to pop up again. Believe me, I have been doing this professionally for 2.5 years now. And I have known all of these things from the beginning. And believe me, whatever the heck gives me anxiety pops up pretty much every week, again and again. And so now that I'm aware of what gives me anxiety, and you can do this too, next time I start to feel that like jittery feeling, the pressure that I need to complete something, I feel like I'm running or whatever it is. Every time I feel that now, I take a deep breath and I remind myself, I give myself that reality check again and again and again that I can release this, right? Social media is not as important as it feels like it is when I'm being sucked into that anxiety and the culture of it, right? And so I want you to remember that. I want you to sit right now and think, what gives me the most anxiety? What does that feel like in my body? And then when it comes up again in the future, have that little card in your toolbox to be like, take a deep breath and remind yourself that it's not that important and you can release it. Now, the second tip that I have for doing social media in a way that doesn't feel icky is to set healthy boundaries. Okay. And this is something that a lot of people talk about, but it's true and it does take commitment. Okay. And believe me, I know setting healthy boundaries when it comes to social media can be transformational for your business and life. Okay. Because the worst part of social media is the incessantness of it, if that's a word. I actually tried to Google the word before this podcast and I was like, I don't know if it's a word, but I'm going to use it. It's incessant, right? I feel like it's just this buzzing bee or like a fly in my ear that's always there, right? Like, I hate that feeling of always being available, always waiting for like a DM or a notification or whatever it is. Like at any point in my day, I could receive a notification that I have to jump on. I feel the same way about my email. I've been setting boundaries with my email too, and it's been amazing. But it really sucks because it means that social media is taking up, 100% of your attention at the worst times and 5% of your attention always, right? Like there's always that naggy feeling that we have to be aware of social media throughout our day. At least that's how I have felt before I started trying to implement boundaries in my life. And it just isn't necessary. And I think it's kind of like intrusive in a way, right? And you have control over how you want to live your life, over how you want to spend your energy and attention. And you can set boundaries that can stop social media from feeling like it's taking over. So, when it comes to setting boundaries, my very first tip is to turn your notifications off. Okay. Notifications are the worst. And I actually do have my notifications for comments and DMs still up on my Instagram because I do want to be able to answer people fairly quickly, especially when it comes to my client content, right? But I have turned off all notifications for likes, first posts or stories, or like those ones that say so and so hasn't posted in a long time or whatever the heck it is. I have all of those notifications turned off because I don't need to see them. And every time you get a notification on your phone, it's habit. It's part of the psychology of people who've created the apps where if you see a notification on our phone, we've been trained to just like impulsively have to check it, right? Like, I don't know if you'd ever do this. Maybe I'm a crazy person, but like if I have one of those little red, like 1 or 2 notification things in my messages or whatever, it drives me crazy. Like I can't have that on my phone because it just feels like it's always just like, check me, check me, check me. Like I can't ignore it, right? That's how social media is. That's what the psychologists who have created the platforms and that's how they have created our phones to be addictive. Like that's part of the addiction. And so the best thing you can do is to turn your notifications off, my friend. Set that boundary so you don't even see them. And you can choose to turn off comments and DMs or leave them up, but definitely at least turn off those notifications that you don't really even need to see. And if you want to turn off comment and DM notifications, go for it. More power to you, my friend. But it is such a life changer to not have these constant nagging notifications popping up on your phone every day. Okay. Have you been wanting to create a new website? My friend, I have just the website template shop for you. I recently used one of the templates from the gals at Go Live HQ to create my new author website, and it could not be more awesome. Not only was the template super easy to use, I swear it was laid out perfectly already, so I customized it with my own photos and copy in like 2 hours. But also, it ended up looking so freaking beautiful in a way that I know I would not have been able to achieve if I'd started from scratch. Go Live HQ has tons of beautiful Squarespace templates so you can easily create and launch your dream website in just a few hours and not have to keep tweaking things forever until it's 6 months later and your website still isn't live. That may or may not have happened to Feel Good Social's website. So believe me, I feel you on that. And the cherry on top, the Go Live gals created a coupon code for you, my feel good listener. Just head to feelgoodsocial.com/go live and use the coupon code feelgoodsocial to receive 10% off your template. Again, head to feelgoodsocial.com/go live and use the code feelgoodsocial for 10% off. Pretty cool, huh? I cannot wait to see which template best fits your brand. I went with the Jada Ellis template myself for kinseyalissa.com, but it was seriously a really tough choice. So when you do, head to feelgoodsocial.com/go live and snag your new template. Make sure you send me the link to your new website because I definitely want to see it. All right, let's dive back into this episode, my friend. Now, the second boundary that I love to suggest that you set is to give yourself distractionless time blocks throughout your day, especially your working day, right? Because here's the thing, if our phone is sitting beside us, even if we have turned off most notifications and whatever, whenever we get bored or kind of start to feel frustrated or whatever it is, it's become impulsive for a lot of us to reach for our phones and either start scrolling Instagram or check notifications that we have gotten or whatever it is. And it can be really, really terrible for productivity. Even just like the time it takes to be distracted by your phone for 30 seconds or something, that's still interrupting whatever it is that you're doing throughout your days. And it takes your attention away and it takes time to check your phone and then bring your attention back to what you were doing and get back into your flow, right? So I've made it a habit to set hour-long time blocks where I either turn my phone on airplane mode or I'll put it in the charger in the other room or whatever it is. Take my phone away, get my phone out of there, get the distractions out of there because it's really, really nice to just focus on your task at hand and it just ups your productivity so much more, right? The third boundary that I love to set, it's kind of setting goals for a boundary, basically, but set goals for the times that you want to log off and log on during your day to day. Right. So you might hear a lot of people talking about this, how a lot of us tend to grab our phones first thing in the morning before we even get out of bed and start scrolling Instagram, check our notifications. And then a lot of us at night, like during dinner or after dinner, we'll just be scrolling on our phones because we're bored or whatever it is. And it really does take away from us living in the present moment. I think that grabbing your phone when you're in bed and like that being the very first thing that you do in your day can really maybe set your day off on that tone, right? Whatever it is that you see when you pick up and start scrolling. It might inhibit creativity, some people say. Whatever the heck it is, it's not necessarily the best thing to start your day with or end your day with, right? So no judgment, my friend. Whatever you want your boundary logging on and logging off goals to be, I want you to really think about that and set intentions for your platform usage and try to set goals for when you want to log off and when you want to log on during your day to day, right? But what I do want to say about this is I do understand how hard it can be to hold these boundaries, especially at first, right? You might find yourself just impulsively reaching for your phone. You might have a bad day and like have some anxiety. And sometimes through anxiety, we find that social media can be a little bit more comforting or whatever the heck it is. So, what I want to say for you is just really be thoughtful and aware of your social media habits and set intentions and goals for how you want to use social media in your day to day. And try to stick to those. But if you don't stick to them immediately, or like if you fall off the wagon at some point, that's okay, my friend. Okay. It's all about just becoming aware of your social media habits, setting goals and intentions for what you would love to achieve or the habits that you would like to get into. And then being gentle with yourself if you can't immediately turn these into habits. Okay. I like to think of it as like diet culture. I see this a lot with my family members, at least, where they'll be like, New Year's, resolution, starting this diet. It's going to be great. And then a week later, they eat a donut and they're like, okay, well, my diet's over. It's like, no, dude, you can totally just like hop back on that horse. Like the one donut doesn't mean that your diet is over. You can get back into the diet, right? And I like to think about that when it comes to social media and work in general is if you set a goal and intention for yourself, but you find yourself like struggling to achieve it or like not able to achieve it at certain times, don't be hard on yourself about it. Just be aware of it so that you can slowly start to make shifts and changes. Okay. Cause I have been there as well, where it's my intention to not grab my phone every morning when I'm in bed. But do I do it? Probably 3 days a week, right? So, whatever, you know what I mean? At least I've set that intention and I'm aware of my habits when I am falling off that wagon. And I have made the commitment to hop back on the wagon and continue to try, right? So, that's what I want to encourage you to do as well, my friend. So, those are the 3 healthy boundaries that I like to set. And I would really like you to think about those things and maybe, make a list of the boundaries that you really want to try to work toward yourself. Okay. So, my third tip and the third step, I guess, for using social media in a way that doesn't feel icky is to create a plan of attack that is actually doable for you. Okay. This is one of the most frustrating things for me as a social media marketer who wants to encourage people to use social media in a way that feels good to you and actually gets you results without wasting your precious time and all of those things is a lot of experts out there are shouting about you should show up on this platform all the time, do all these things. You should do it this way. You need to do it that way. La da da da, whatever the heck it is, right? But here's the thing. A lot of those experts are shouting about social media tactics that are not actually achievable for us when we are just creating our businesses. We're wearing all the hats, we're doing all the things. And here's the permission that I want to give you. You do not need to create this shiny, perfect, amazing, awesome social media plan of attack, especially when you are just starting out, my friend. Okay. You are allowed to show up and use social media in a way that you can actually use it in a way that makes you feel good and just however the heck you want to use it. Right. So, what I want to encourage you to do is firstly, take inventory of yourself, your brand, your life, and your ideal customers. Okay. And figure out what can actually work for me. Okay. So ask yourself, what do I do best? What lights me up the most when it comes to social media marketing, right? What can I actually create that I can put out onto the platform consistently that isn't going to stress me out overly or make me just feel like I'm always running to catch up or whatever it is? What do you do best? What do your ideal customers respond to and what is performing the best for you? And by performing, I don't necessarily mean how many likes are you getting? I mean, what is your ROI? Time and energy and money versus the return on investment you're getting, which could be just nurturing and building relationships with your ideal followers. It could be cultivating sales for your business. It could be just gaining recommendations for people. Like those are all return on investments, right? So I want you to measure what is easiest for me to create, what lights me up to create, and also what kind of content is going to give me the best return on the time, energy, and money I put into it based on my ideal customers. I hope this makes sense. The one thing that I really, really want to emphasize here is honestly, a lot of times for us as down to earth entrepreneurs who are kind of still wearing all those hats in our business, we don't spend a lot of money on social media. And so, what you are investing in your social media is your time and energy and brain power. Okay. So, whenever you think of return on investment, which on social media, return on the investment, like I said, could be those comments, DMs, sales, recommendations, nurturing relationships, having conversations with your people. Like that's what you are mostly getting as a return on social media. And you're mostly investing your time and energy. So take inventory of all this and then think, what can I actually put out there? What is an achievable plan of attack for social media that I can commit to every week, month, whatever it is, right? And also, one thing I want to say is start easy. That is something I also wanted to point out and make sure that you knew, because I never want you to always feel like you're running to catch up, like you're the hamster on the hamster wheel and you're running, 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 but you're not getting anywhere. Okay. So take inventory of yourself, your brand, your customers, your lifestyle, all those things. Think what is actually achievable for me, and then just outline a plan of attack. I like to say weekly for social media or monthly, that you can actually achieve. And don't be afraid to just start small. Start with 3 posts a week, right? Maybe you want to get a little crazy and do like 1 reel per week and 2 posts per week or whatever the heck it is. I don't care, but you can start small and just start simple, start small, start showing up. I've said this before, I'll say it again. The best plan of attack for social media is the long-term game of showing up consistently over time. Okay, so that's what we are trying to achieve. That's what we're trying to start with. So start small, create that plan of attack. Then, as you start to implement your plan, as you start to get better and practice creating content for your brand, you can slowly start improving your strategy and adding more whatever to your plate, right? So, if you're just starting out in the social media game, maybe you just want to start with creating 3 posts a week. Just create 3 posts a week. Simple as that. Easy to do, just start practicing that. And maybe it doesn't feel easy for you right now, but I promise when you start to do it and you start practicing that in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is, it will start to get easier. And at that point, when you feel like you can take more on, then maybe that's when you revisit your strategy and you think, okay, what is working? What can I maybe change around in my strategy to improve it? What can I maybe add to my strategy to bring more onto my plate and improve it, right? So maybe it goes from 3 posts a week to 1 reel and 2 posts a week or something like that. Like I said before, right? Just start small, start simple. Start with something that is actually achievable for you so that you're not getting yourself down or anything like that. And then start practicing. And as you feel the process getting easier, then that's when you start improving with baby steps. Okay, that's my favorite way to approach social media and create a plan of attack. That is pretty much how I teach it in my online course, The Social Map. And I have found that to be the best way. And really, whatever you can do to slowly work your way to showing up consistently long-term over time and slowly start improving your strategy, your audience will begin to grow and social media will get way more easier and way more impactful for your business. All right, my friend. The fourth and final tip that I have for you when it comes to using social media in a way that doesn't feel icky to you is to lean into what brings you joy. Okay. I love talking about this as I am an Enneagram 7 and joy is like one of our core motivations or whatever it is. If you're an Enneagram nerd, you may know that. But I truly believe that it works for any type of Enneagram number, any type of person. I recommend this as part of your marketing strategy to any person because, firstly, if you lean into what brings you joy in the platform, whether that's creating graphics in Canva, or maybe writing captions, or maybe showing up on video, or maybe just interacting with people and engaging with people, leaving comments on people's posts and sending people DMs and whatever it is, like whatever brings you the most joy, try to hone in on that and make that part of your process a main pillar. Make that work for you, because not only will that help you to not always be dragging your feet when it comes to showing up on social media for your business, because I get it. I drag my feet to show up on social media a lot too. And usually that's when I just walk away from it and take a deep breath, go for a run, whatever it is, right? Because I want to be approaching social media with joy in my heart, creating content from joy in my heart, because not only does that make me excited to create content and show up for my people, but also, almost more importantly, if you can show up for your brand on social media with energy, with joy, with excitement, with love, all of those things, I truly believe that people will feel that energy through the screen. Okay, that energy will translate into the content that you create. Your people will feel that you created your content, that you're showing up with excitement and joy, and they will become even more attracted to you, right? You'll become even more magnetic to your people if you're showing up in that energy. They will feel compelled to support you. It's one of the best ways to grow your brand affinity, more so, right? So ultimately, when it comes to showing up on social media, the first thing I want you to do, let go of whatever the heck is giving you anxiety. Social media is not that important, and you are allowed to do social media however the heck you want to do it, however the heck you can do it, my friend. It's okay. Take a deep breath, release that anxiety. Number two, set healthy boundaries, because it is so, so important to make sure that you are using the platform and you're not allowing it to take control of your life. Number three, create a doable plan of attack for you and slowly start improving your social media strategy and plan of attack over time as you start to practice, as you start to build and grow and all those things. It will become easier and you can slowly make those improvements. The first step is just creating a plan of attack that you can actually do, that actually allows you to start showing up consistently for the long term. Okay. And finally, number four, just lean into what brings you joy, right? One of the best ways to not feel icky when it comes to using social media is to figure out what lights you up, what excites you. That might be reminding yourself of why you do what you do, how you're helping people. That might be leaning into your creativity and just playing around on Canva a lot when it comes to creating posts. That might be you just writing. I love writing. So if you are a caption writer, I'm totally there with you, my friend. And lean into that, write more captions, start there, right? Or, maybe you're a social butterfly and you just love supporting people and you actually enjoy going to your ideal customers' accounts, leaving them some love on their own posts, maybe hitting people up in the DMs, just being social. That might bring you joy when it comes to social media. Start there then, my friend. But the more you can lean into joy, the more social media will feel good for you, excite you, and the more you will be magnetic for your ideal customers. Can you tell I'm like geeking out over here? I love this conversation. And so if you do want to chat about this more, if you have any questions at all, if you want my help figuring out how you can do social media in a way that feels icky, you specifically, please reach out to me on Instagram. I'm at Feel Good Social. I would love to connect with you in the DMs. I would love to chat with you about your specific social media struggles and whatever the heck you want to talk about. And I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful week, my friend. I will catch you next time I catch you. Thanks so much for listening, my friend. For show notes and a whole lot of other awesome freebies, visit feelgoodsocial.com. Simply go to feelgoodsocial.com for all the goods.